What is going on, everybody? So I'm back today to talk about a film that is a little older. The reason why I'm talking about this film today is one of my TikTok followers recommended this movie to me because they know I love horror movies. I love watching underappreciated horror films. And the movie I'm going to be discussing today is the film Creep. And no, this isn't the Mark Duplass, Patrick Bryce Creep that I talk about consistently as one of my favorite films of all time. This is the film Creep from the year, I believe, 2003 or 2004, and I'll get into it more in the review. Creep is directed by Christopher Smith. Trapped in a London subway station, a woman who's being pursued by a potential attacker heads into the unknown labyrinth of tunnels beneath the city's streets. So when anybody online recommends me a movie, I typically try to go in with as little knowledge as possible to just kind of experience it. I don't really want preconceived notions about the movie. I really just want to build and formulate my own opinion on this one. And I enjoyed this movie. I definitely think it has a lot of flaws. It's not 100% perfect, but there is a lot of things to really appreciate about the movie. So at the beginning of the film, we have these two guys who are working underground in these tunnels near the subway station. They're going through these tunnels, and something happens. Something pops out of the wall. We see one of the guys fall down. The other guy gets jumped at by something, and then we cut away. Then we are introduced to our lead character, Kate. She's at this party. She's hanging out with these people, and she's like, oh, I've got to go home. I'm going to take the subway and go to meet this guy or whatever. So she leaves there. She gets into the subway station. She goes down into the subway tunnel to wait for her train. She's waiting on the last train of the night, and she ends up falling asleep on one of the benches near where the subway train is. When she wakes up, the entire station is vacant and empty. None of the trains are running anymore. She can't seem to find anyone, and she has to find her way out. Well, she finds out while she's in this train station that she is not alone, and the movie plays on from there. So one of the things I really appreciated about this movie was the atmosphere, the idea of being in a place that is as expansive and wide as like the train station in England, the subway station, or the tube as they call it out there, being stuck in that station, trying to, find a way out when everything is completely locked up and you're unable to get out is a really horrifying thought. And I think they do a really good job at reminding you the vastness of this place that you're in and how terrifying it would be to be alone with something in there that you don't know what that something is. And she ends up running into some characters. She runs into some homeless people that are living in the subway station. They're like behind the walls. There's like some overnight crew that are working in there. There's like one guy that's working in the security station. And so you get other characters introduced to you. But the thing that makes this movie so intense and engaging in the first act is that unknown threat. What is coming after you? What is trying to get you, and why is it trying to get you? And that is my favorite part of this movie. The whole first act is really great. When you go to transition to the second act, when you find out what the thing is, the movie becomes very standard fare for horror. It just becomes kind of like a chase film where you're introduced to another character. That character hasn't been as well fleshed out as the other characters, kind of just there to be a vehicle to move the plot along. And that was when the movie, to me, became a lot less interesting. Once it was just running around hallways away from something that you already know what this threat is. To me, once you give that reveal off, you have to keep me engaged by doing something new or interesting. And this movie, like I said, became just really standard and formulaic, chasing down hallways. Something's coming after you that now you know what's coming after you. And I don't know, like, there was some interesting commentary interlaid in this, and I don't really want to get into it as to where they find out that they are and what this person or thing has seen in their life. And so that was kind of an interesting element to the movie, but they had a scene towards the end that seemed like it was just kind of thrown in for shock value, less as like a really smart kind of fun thing to do with a horror movie. It was just kind of thrown in as like a look, we can do something shocking. And I just really didn't care about what was going on in the second half of this movie as much as I did the first half. But I don't want to take away from the fact that I think the first half of this movie was such a well put together, really atmospheric, well done horror piece. I just think it's super uneven, and that last half shift just didn't really do it for me as much as I wanted it to. But I think if you're looking for something in this time period that's very different than your standard early 2000s fare, you could do a lot worse than Creep. So have you seen Creep? Did you love it? Did you hate it? Leave me a comment down below and let me know what you thought. I thought this movie was entertaining. I do think it falls off in the second half a little bit, but I did really enjoy it. As always, if you can like the video and subscribe to the channel, it helps me out a lot and lets me know the type of content you're looking for. I'm always putting out new material and look forward to getting more out for you in the near future. And as always, everyone, thank you so much for watching and have a great rest of your day.